From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Good morning. Today is Sunday, December 24th. Merry Christmas Eve. I'm Max Darrow. Lots of shoppers headed to San Francisco's Union Square for the last full day of shopping before Christmas. It was a busy Saturday in Union Square as shoppers picked up their last-minute holiday gifts and enjoyed some of the holiday festivities and fun on display there in Union Square, which is exactly why demonstrators picked the location for their No Christmas as Usual protest against the war in Gaza. Hundreds of them marched from Market Street to Union Square, where they surrounded the ice rink and the Christmas tree there. They were met by a big police presence. San Francisco Office of Emergency Management sent out an alert around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, urging people to avoid the area. Our Betty Yu was down there when the dust settled to see how the demonstrations affected the holiday activity.
They're closed until further notice.
On the Saturday before Christmas, the holiday glow that usually lights up Union Square was missing. Wrecked ornaments lay on the ground, and officers investigated the broken tree after pro-Palestinian protesters climbed and damaged it. They stuck flags and a sign that read, "No Xmas as usual in a genocide." Like hundreds of others, Oakland resident Kenya Akbar, who came to take holiday photos, was greeted by a dark tree.
I feel disappointed. Yeah, I thought it was a joke. I asked the security guard, are the lights coming on in 5 minutes at 6? And he's like, no, the tree's broken. It feels weird.
Protesters took to the ice skating rink with flags, which prompted it to be shut down for hours at a time when Union Square was packed with visitors. We were there as San Francisco police arrested several protesters for alleged crimes ranging from assault to felony vandalism. At least one officer says he was struck in the head with an object. Protesters called for a ceasefire in Gaza.
I understand the anger, that they're feeling, but I don't think that it's gonna, it's not gonna help, you coming through San Francisco, Oakland, destroying, beautiful monuments and trees.
Vincent Longmire came from Berkeley with his friends.
I just wanted to come and ice skate. It's my first day of break after, finals and stuff. The things that are happening right now, people are very emotional about, and they want to be heard, but I think there should be other ways that they can do that.
Free Palestine! After marching down Market Street, the group moved to Union Square to disrupt the holiday shopping rush. They ended up clashing with police officers.
When you hear people here chant, while you're shopping, bombs are dropping, that's exactly what's happening. We have the privilege and the luxury here in the United States to sit beside our families during the holidays and celebrate and be amongst each other.
So this flyer is Biden's holiday shopping list this year. We're severely mismanaging our taxpayer dollars right now.
There was a heavy police presence throughout the night as thousands still enjoyed the festivities, including Winter Walk. The rink eventually reopened.
We're gonna go ice skating and just, try to make the best of it.
Late last night, a smaller group of demonstrators showed up outside the Bryant Street jail, demanding the release of 2 protesters in police custody. So far, SFPD has not commented on those arrests. Now, as Betty mentioned, even after the demonstrations, Union Square did see some decent crowds once that dust settled. Great news for business owners hoping to cash in on Super Saturday. So in case you didn't know, if you are one of those people who pick up your holiday gifts at the very last minute, you are likely a frequent participant in what is known as Super Saturday. It's the last Saturday before Christmas or Christmas Eve, and it's typically a pretty big day for businesses. Well, this year was no different. The National Retail Federation projects that 16 million more people shopped on Saturday when compared to the same time that Christmas fell on a Monday back in 2017. With a slight dip recently in the inflation rate paired with the last-minute bargains that retailers were offering, shoppers seem to be more willing to spend money this weekend.
Super Saturday is the Black Friday for procrastinators.
Definitely, yes. And it's the big day for sales as well, regardless of what we've been seeing from consumer sentiment surveys or inflation trends. People are still shopping and people are still buying gifts for their loved ones.
Salesforce, which tracks this kind of data, says the reason we still see a large turnout is, despite the dominance of online shopping, people make their purchases too late to be delivered in time, so they opt for ordering online and picking their gifts up in person.
Okay, we're waking up on this Sunday morning, much like we have for the last couple of mornings. We've got a little patchy fog out there. Been watching it on the Futurecast for the last few hours, just kind of developing through some of those inland valleys. It's very foggy in the Central Valley once again. That's Thule fog there. But just give yourself a little extra time on the road here, particularly in the North Bay valleys and for a time through the Santa Clara Valley today. Daytime highs today are going to be just fine. It'll be more sunshine than anything else and low 60s. So once the patchy fog is gone, it's a beautiful blue sky day and temperatures a few degrees cooler than yesterday, but we should all come in right around 60 degrees. I'll see you with the rest of the forecast coming up in a bit. We're going to talk about the next storm. We're getting rain on Wednesday. I'll see you with that in a few minutes.
Well, if you are traveling today, you will be joining millions of Americans on the roads and in the sky. CBS's Christian Benavides reports on what you need to know before heading out the door.
Americans are on the move, looking to get to their holiday destination just in the nick of time. If you're flying by air, you're likely finding a smoother ride than last year.
We were surprised that we was able to get through that quick.
That's because while the number of passengers flying is 16% higher than a year ago, flight delays and cancellations are way down. Thank better weather, more staffing at airlines, and remote workers who left home early.
You little sweetheart.
At San Francisco International Airport, these therapy animals are on hand to help with any travel-related stress.
Say Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
While in Philadelphia, even the Grinch is feeling the holiday spirit.
Right now, it's not that bad. I'm kind of surprised. Things are going kind of smooth.
Pretty easy so far. This hasn't been a big deal at all.
Most people, like Ryan Loxman, who is driving from Wichita to Houston, are traveling by road.
Been a lot of cars, but everything's going good our direction.
104 million people are getting a gift this Christmas in the form of lower prices at the pump, averaging $3.12 a gallon. In 21 states, AAA says gas prices are under $3. Also on the move, Santa Claus. NORAD's official Santa tracker is now up, allowing children to follow his journey in real time.
Sports history made in England on Saturday as the English Premier League's first female referee took the field. Spectators applauded Rebecca Welch as she made her way up the tunnel at Craven Cottage. She's been a referee since 2010, but officiating the Fulham-Burnley match was a milestone task. Many of us know a ref's performance is almost always looked at under a microscope. But aside from the typical frustrations like a halted play for an injury, Welch called a clean game. Burnley ended up defeating Fulham 2-0. In controversy in the world of cricket, an Australian cricketer was denied permission by the International Cricket Council to display a dove symbol in solidarity with Palestinians. The Pakistani-born opener would have worn them for the Boxing Day test. Video was captured of the 37-year-old wearing the symbol on his shoes and on his bat during practice. But under ICC regulations, messages related to political, religious, or racial activities or causes are prohibited. Cricketer has been vocal on social media calling to end all of the bloodshed in the Gaza Strip. He said he was confused about the ICC's ruling, recalling previous players who've displayed messages who weren't punished. This morning in Central Florida, police are looking for a person of interest following a deadly shooting at a mall. Ocala police said photos taken from a Paddock Mall security camera looks to show a man with a red cap and dark clothing. City's police chief had previously said the suspect was wearing a hooded sweatshirt and a mask, partially covering his face. Police say they received calls for multiple shots being fired at the mall around 3:40 on Saturday afternoon. There they found one man dead after he was shot multiple times. Now they're saying the victim was actually targeted.
We responded with a heavy police presence. Officers immediately made entry into the mall. Ultimately discovered that this was not what we would consider an active shooter. There was a shooting that took place inside the mall that we believe was possibly a targeted act of violence.
A woman was also shot in the leg. She's in the hospital and is expected to be okay. Police say the suspect left the scene and left behind the gun used in the shooting. As the Israel-Hamas war continues, Hamas is putting up some resistance against advancing Israeli troops. 14 Israeli soldiers were killed during battle on Friday and Saturday in central and southern Gaza. Smoke seen billowing over the Gaza skyline this morning as bloodshed continues. Israeli army radio signaled 4 of those 14 soldiers were killed when their vehicle was hit by an anti-tank missile. The others were killed in separate fighting incidents. So far, that makes 153 Israeli soldiers killed in battle since the ground offensive began. Meanwhile, Gazan residents are still facing the brunt of the violence. People in the major city of Khan Yunis were seen searching the rubble for belongings following an airstrike. According to Gaza's health ministry, the death toll has now reached over 20,200 Palestinians. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the war will continue until Hamas is taken down. And as the world celebrates Christmas, Palestinian Christians held a quiet and somber Christmas vigil in Bethlehem. Yesterday, they were seen singing candlelit hymns and prayed for a ceasefire in Gaza around a barbed wire nativity scene. Normally, this is a joyous celebration that attracts tourists from all over the world. It's a big blow to the town's economy, which heavily relies on tourism. Gift shops around Manger Square say they can't justify putting out a tree and celebrating as normal when some people in Gaza don't even have a home to go to.
The whole world is celebrating Christmas this year, but not Bethlehem, not the birthplace of our Lord Jesus Christ. Bethlehem is celebrating Christmas with sadness and sorrow because of what's happening in Gaza and in all the West Bank, all Palestinian territories.
The Palestinian Minister of Tourism said more than 2.3 million tourists have visited since the beginning of the year, prior to the war starting. Security is heightened at some celebrations around the world. In Germany, police are actively guarding the Cologne Cathedral after indications of a possible attack planned for New Year's Eve. They said in a statement that they would use tracker dogs and implement security checks on visitors. Officials said they couldn't elaborate on the ongoing investigation, but a German news agency there reported that a few countries had received evidence suggesting that the threats came from an Islamic extremist group. Bells rang out and flags flew at half-mast as mourners in Prague paid tribute to 14 people killed in a mass shooting at a university this week. A mass and a minute of silence was held at the main St. Vitus Cathedral at Prague Castle on Saturday. The president of Czech Republic's Charles University attended, as well as speakers of both houses of parliament. The packed church saw people praying for the victims. On Thursday, a suspect student opened fire on students and teachers. 14 people died and dozens more were wounded. This was one of the worst shootings in the country has seen in decades. Police say the gunman took his own life 20 minutes after they arrived on scene. They add he was inspired by a similar shooting in Russia. Former President Donald Trump is asking an appeals court in Washington, D.C. to throw out his federal indictment in connection to the 2020 election case. In a filing late last night, his attorneys argued Trump is protected under presidential immunity. The filing says Trump was working in his official capacity as president to uphold election integrity. Last Friday, the Supreme Court turned down special counsel Jack Smith's request for justices to immediately hear the case. The appeals court fast-tracked its consideration and is scheduled to hear oral arguments on January 9th. The Biden administration heads into the holidays with a lot on its plate. CBS's Willie James Inman is at the White House with an update from Washington.
President Biden left the White House for Camp David on Saturday as his administration and Congress leave the Capitol this year with unfinished priorities and Americans feeling uncertain about the economy.
Sir, what's your outlook on the economy next year?
All good. Take a look.
The latest economic data shows inflation falling and record job growth. But the president faces political headwinds ahead of the 2024 election, with many in the country feeling unconvinced of his economic leadership. A recent CBS News poll showed a majority of Americans disapprove of President Biden's handling of the economy. On the list of unfinished business for the president and lawmakers, government funding which expires early in the new year, a supplemental funding bill that would support new aid for Israel and Ukraine, and changes to the nation's immigration system amid a record high number of border crossings. Some Republicans have stressed they will not hold a vote on funding for Ukraine without significant changes to slow the influx of migrants at the U.S. southern border.
Thanks for joining us this morning. CBS Sunday Morning with Jane Pauley is coming up next here on KPIX. Local news continues on our streaming service, CBS News Bay Area. From all of us here at Channel 5, we hope you have a wonderful Christmas Eve.